Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Mustard Seed. I'm Andrew.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Josh.
Join us on our journey.
It's Wednesday morning. You know what that means. Boom, 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 boom.
We're coming in with a lot of energy today.
Boom. Yeah, I just ate an apple and charged up.
It's the wine
I got nothing.
off camera.
Oh, let me start my dad joke because we've been forgetting in the beginning. It's really lame. Where do you bring a pumpkin to get repaired? A pumpkin patch. Wah, wah, wah. There you go.
Yeah. You missed the holiday too. We're a little off.
A little off. Yeah, I should have brought in some Christmas jokes. Oh, we're joined today by Saint Nick over here, and our little friends, our Buckeye and our Leprechaun has their own Christmas trees. I don't know. I think the Notre Dame's been a little naughty. He might get coal.
Fair enough.
Buckeye was a little naughty a couple weeks ago. He made me so upset I chopped down a tree.
Sports will do that to you.
Hey, I had to clear that tree anyway.
Exactly. So just a little extra help.
I didn't even know Jess was recording me when that happened.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, most relief I ever had. I
Chopping
came
down.
in, I was perfect. I was like, whew.
Sometimes you just need to let it out.
Yeah.
Everyone should have a chopping tree in the backyard.
Yeah, it's like you need a punching bag, something.
There you go.
Like we've said many times, we don't know why sports gets our blood boiling that much, but it does.
It does. Just can't explain it.
Can do it.
Yeah.
And shout out to Mr. Judge, knowing how to be a loyal New Yorker and come back, unlike that Benedict Darnold DeGrom.
You know, it was funny. I was really nervous that Judge was going to leave.
Oh, I'm happy.
I'm glad he
and he
stayed.
turned down. The Red Sox offered him $400.
Really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah.
Wow.
I read that on MLB something on Facebook.
Wow.
They offered him like 400, but he took the Yankees, which good for him. He's loyal. He's going to be the next captain. He's going to be the next face of the franchise. Get his number retired.
He's earned it.
Yep.
He deserves every
I'm happy.
dollar.
I love it when players stay for the long run and
Definitely.
they're the face.
What was it? Was it 8-year contract?
I think it's
8.
8 years.
Yeah, at least 8. I was going
Yeah.
to say 9, but I know it's at least 8.
360.
Yeah, crazy amount of money. $360 million.
It's a lot of money.
I think Judge played it perfectly from like a business sense. I don't think he ever had an intention to leave.
Yeah.
Personally, now
Well,
that I've
he
seen
could
it
have
all
got
play
more
out,
money elsewhere, but he didn't because he knew what he would mean to the Yankees. Now he just has to win a ship for them, and
hey, if he wasn't on that team last year, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. So I think he's worth every bout of money that you could throw at him.
Mm-hmm.
And from a revenue standpoint, like I always think about that, like business, there's 100% he brings in more revenue than $360 million over the next 9 years of his career.
for himself or
For the Yankees, for the franchise.
Yeah. And even
Oh,
for
no
himself, he's gonna be all these commercials, everything. So he'll be making money. He'll make up that extra money the Red Sox would have gave him, which that would have been a travesty.
Yeah, my goodness. If he went to the Red Sox.
He would have not done that.
No, I don't
But
think.
it's funny in the middle of the season, like they asked him, and he goes, "Oh, I always love playing here." Like like you said, he was playing it perfectly.
He played it.
Yeah.
And you know why? And I'm glad he did because I think Cashman needed that because he's done that with every Yankee. Jeter, he would squeeze him and put him through arbitration and all that stuff. And the article came out that in the beginning of the season, when they were having their negotiations for the for Judge's extension, Judge didn't want the numbers to be released, and Cashman released the numbers, basically told the media what they offered him. And Judge was really upset about that. So I don't blame him, and I think he played the whole year being like, I'm leaving, in a way, to make them a little bit more nervous. And he got a lot more than I think anyone would have thought he would have. So, yeah,
And,
good for him.
The Mets also spent $300 million in 2 days.
Yeah, crazy. Baseball contracts
love
are
it.
nuts.
No, yeah, like they're not worth it.
Baseball and basketball contracts are absurd on a high level. Yeah, but I don't know how. I mean, hey, Verlander is a Hall of Famer and a big time ace, but
He'll be all right.
it's going to be
for a
interesting
year.
with the the two, Scherzer and Verlander, are so old at the front of the rotation there. But
Yeah.
they're
See what
gamers.
happens.
They're gamers. I'd be happy to have them in my rotation. So.
Yeah.
And Nimmo's back too.
Yeah, Nemo's back. I'm happy, but he played it well too.
Yeah, he got a good amount of money
he got a good
too.
amount of money for. I say 2 years ago, he was dead in the water and sent down to the minors, and now he's one of the best center fielders in baseball.
He made an All-Star game last year, right?
Yes.
Was he an All-Star? Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of money.
Yep,
Crazy.
He's just got to get that average up. But we got some other. We'll talk about the other craziness that's happening with bringing home Brittany Griner. A lot of crazy stuff with sports and the world and just everything. And Joe Biden is the worst GM in history of the world.
Good segue.
We literally traded his nickname is the Merchant of Death for a basketball player who kneels at the national anthem. And if she kneels, if she ever plays again,
Yeah, at this point, right? Like,
how do you kneel? Like your country saved. I don't know what she's gonna do. I don't know. It's just very frustrating. Like we were talking about a little bit before we started. There's a Marine in Russian prison who got sentenced 19 years. Was convicted of being a spy, even though he just went to a wedding in Russia. Key word that you're getting out of this is don't go to Russia.
you learn from anything. From
yeah.
this. Yeah. Really interesting. I don't know if this is.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. It's from I think what's the right word for us who have just like.
And what happens if this guy goes back and helps in the war that they're in?
That's where I think the timing of it is a little.
And they're like, oh, we're gonna keep an eye on him. He's in another country.
Yeah, it's dicey. And the things that he was convicted for, right?
Oh, trying
He
to
was
kill
selling-
Americans.
Yeah, selling missiles to for them to be sent to America. So yeah, very interesting. I don't know if I'd put Brittany Griner on the same level playing
it's
field as
just-
the Merchant of Death, but here we are. I mean, look, she's American, so it's great to bring an American home who shouldn't be convicted in Russian jail, but at the same time, I don't know what we're doing. It's a little crazy.
That's like trading Jeremy Lin for LeBron James, and it just makes no sense. I just don't get it. It's like trading Mike Trout. Like we're gonna trade you Mike Trout, and you give me Joe McEwing.
Hey, Joe McEwing was an awesome utility player, but no, you're right. It is bizarre, and also at the same time too, like, what is Brittany Griner doing through this whole process? I thought it was very bizarre. I mean, she knew what she was bringing into Russia.
Yeah.
In a country like Russia, like, why would you even risk that? You know?
Why are you even going to play? How much could they possibly be paying you?
She was there for basketball, right? That's what it was.
Now
initially.
she's set for life because she's gonna write books. She's gonna get a TV deal. She's gonna, she's gonna get all this money this way. It's insane.
Brittany Griner fascinates me a lot as a human. I just remember when she was coming up through Baylor.
Yeah,
playing
they were trying to say,
basketball.
oh, she could play in the NBA.
Yeah, she played in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
She dunks a lot more than. I think she's a pretty consistent dunker, actually. I've seen highlights, I think she dunks pretty often, which is pretty. But you know what? This whole process reminds me of. It's Father Gene Chiswick, correct? Josh, is that
Walter.
Walter Gene Walter? Yeah, I'm always bad with names, right?
It's okay.
But that's an awesome book. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Andrew. So he was a priest who is from Europe originally, or no, from Pennsylvania, and he was in Europe doing missionary work as a priest. And his big life mission was he wanted to preach the gospel and preach Catholicism in Russia. And he eventually got arrested for it in Russia and was basically
the same
held
thing.
in
He was
prison.
convicted as a spy. He was accused of a spy. And so then he had to work in Siberia. He was in prison there.
Yeah, for so long that the United States and the family basically just pronounced him dead.
Thought he was dead, yeah.
Thought he was dead. But the book, what's the name of the book? He Leadeth Me.
He Leadeth Me.
Yes, He Leadeth Me. Which an awesome book.
So eventually you got out, I guess, if
Yes.
you wrote a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, made it back. And
How many years did he actually do?
Oh, man.
Right, I'm trying to remember now.
So it was like 9 or 17 or
Oh my gosh.
it was a lot. I think it was a lot of years.
Yeah, and like through the whole process, like he would like be trying to say mass and everything, like under wraps and all that. Well, actually, Man, it's been because we read that in Lent, so this has been. It feels like eternity ago,
Yeah.
but it was a really great book. I just remember it really like creating a lot of perspective on surrendering your life to God and how he basically had no choice because he was living in this prison camp, and how they would just try and break him down and kind of get things out of him as if he was a spy. But just how his faith in God and what it did for him, and the book is awesome. He Leadeth Me. It was a great book, but this whole thing reminds me of that. Russia is no joke. I don't know if
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go there.
no.
But then they're like, what was his name? Snowden. They like harbored him, who was like running from America. So it's very confusing. Well, I guess they had things on interest, like he gave up secrets about America. So they're like, sure, you can live here.
Do you think, and this is maybe a little wild, but hindsight's 2020, so it's easy to make an answer now, but do you think this was calculated? Do you think that there was some sort of understanding, like, hey, by Russia, understanding that who Brittany Greiner was and thinking,
Let me tell you this.
Probably.
I think
is this going to get us canceled?
100%. We might be canceled.
No.
Not on this. We other things may have got us canceled. Anyway, Russia saw what was happening after they got her and arrested her, and all of a sudden everyone on Twitter is like, get her back, get her back. Talk about hyping up someone's trade value for no reason. You know, back to sports again. It's like everyone hyped it up. It's all your fault who tweeted all this and wrote all this. This is why we traded the Merchant of Death for her. It makes no sense. And it's just like you hyped her up. Like we could have traded like a nobody for her. Like
Could have given him a bucket of balls. No, you're right. That's true. They might have gotten to
that
it.
definitely happened.
Yeah, not real. Like the response to it all was probably a little bit eye-opening of like, whoa, where we got here. So
Hopefully she found God when she was in prison. Maybe.
Maybe.
You know, she definitely probably was praying. You know, like we say, like even atheists in the hardest times, like pray to God, call out to someone they didn't believe in, and God will answer no matter what. So, interested to see what she says. Her first interview will probably be like Christmas Day. You know. Yeah, we got Christmas coming up. Exciting. Is everyone all decorated and set up and got your nativities up? And what are we, third week? Almost going into the fourth, almost the end of the Advent candles.
I think we're going to the third.
Third, right?
Yeah,
Yep, it's the third. It's already the second.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're decorated inside, but the outside, not yet. I think we have like one candle in a window right now. I did like a second one, but it's not working. So yeah, really failing on the exterior of the house, but the interior looks pretty good.
looks good. I don't have to worry about the exterior, so I'm good on that front.
Yeah.
Inside's all set, trees up.
I got mine. I sent a Snapchat to the family chat of like I got my lights up outside.
Yeah.
It was freezing that day. My hands weren't working after, but
You've got your blow up.
yeah, I got two of those blow up things. I got a Yoda and a Mickey Mouse.
Nice.
And then on the side of it, we got the nativity set with the lights shining on them.
Nice.
Yeah. Christmas.
Yeah.
I can't believe that the year is over.
Oh,
Time flies.
Time flies is right. Yeah. You know, it's kind of, as we're here in the end of our year now, last week we talked about opening up more and just talking about our feelings. It's like, wow, we're at the end of the year. I almost feel like we need to reflect on like how this year has been for all of us. Like so much has changed from the podcast sense to just life in general, right?
Yeah, we changed a lot. When did we start the longer format and doing this? June, I would say.
Yeah.
So coming up fast on a year. Time flies, and it's been great. I mean, I enjoy getting together and talking. You know, best part of my week.
That's right, man. You had a baby.
I had a baby.
It's
Yeah,
a monumental year.
Forget about that. He's already 15 pounds.
Forgot about it.
Forgot about that. Jess was pregnant at one point this year.
Isn't it wild how that happens? And then like you're kind of at this point, and it's like you forget about it all because it's just like you're here, you're living in.
And you have a 1-year-old, and
I got a 1-year-old. Josh has 3.
I got 3. Yeah.
Josh has 3
4 and
kids.
2. Yeah.
I thought
Terrible twos now, so it's fun.
Yeah. Terrible twos.
It's a whole adventure.
I think it goes into the threes.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Is there such thing as terrible ones?
Yeah.
It's like
It's all good until 4.
yeah. 4's
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
They start mellowing out and turn into a human.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm loving now. Like just seeing how much of a human like Elliot is. It's crazy how quickly that happens. Where it's just like you look at them and they're a little baby and they're kind of just wobbling around. Now all of a sudden he's just standing up and walking all over the place.
The next day,
Yeah.
it's like crazy. Yeah.
It's just like happened overnight. It's just so fun.
The days are long, but the years are short.
Yep.
Days are long, years are short.
Oh my gosh, you could say that again because that's where I feel right now. It's just like I feel like I blink and it's the next Friday, and I blink, it's just the next Friday, and it's just one after the other. But all good things, man. Can't complain. It's been an exciting year.
Yep. Yes, it has.
So I had an interesting thing this week that I wanted to talk about today. Just to hear your thoughts on. So I'm very fascinated with this whole idea of nuns, right? The people who basically like don't affiliate with a religion, and a lot of times these people are baptized.
I mean, like NONES.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about nuns. Like
No,
nuns.
nuns. Sorry, yeah, nuns. None as in like non-affiliation. Yeah, nuns. Is that so? Then is it nuns? Because I always see it as
it's pronounced nuns. Yeah,
because
it's confusing.
Should I say? Because if you say like non-affiliated, that's non. But none is how I know a lot of the talk. NONE.
They say
nuns. Yeah. But that whole idea fascinates me, and I like to try and figure out like what the root of it is. But this past week, right, was the feast, the Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception. So Ronnie and I went to mass separately. I had work during the day, so I had to go at night. And so we had we actually went to different parishes. So we had different homilies. And it was so interesting to hear her homily versus my homily. And I felt like it hit me. I was like, this is exactly why there are Catholics that grow up and kind of just walk away from it. So my homily was a lot different than hers. So my homily was a good homily, right? The priest reminded us of the fact that the gospel reading is about Mary and how Gabriel comes to Mary and she proclaims the yes, and she's conceived Jesus through the Holy Spirit, right? But the feast itself is actually the fact that Mary's Immaculate Conception conceived without sin, right? So it could be confusing in that sense. And the priest just kind of gave a very simple, basic reminder of that and said, look, Mary played a big role in God's redemption story, and her being born without sin was that first process in God's redemption story to bring Jesus into this world. And then Veronica's telling me about her homily that she heard, and it was very just concrete and real, where it was Father Rob at Christ the King, and he's talking about life, and he said life is busy, life is crazy, you're struggling with all of these things that you have throughout your day and your responsibility, and that's where Mary comes in, and you can rely on her and how she can help guide you through those tough moments. So pray to her and allow her to live through her. And I was like, man, like, see, those are two completely different ways to go about the same feast in a way and the same homily. And it's like, I think that for us as people today, it's like they want to I almost like desire to hear something that's like concrete and like in this world versus just something that's a little bit more biblical and like almost takes like a personal reflection to like relate to it. And it just like kind of hit me a little bit. And I was like, maybe that's why a lot of people kind of end up just drifting away, because they don't have the benefit of having a priest who's giving them something that's showing them that our faith is about living and what's in this world, and not just like a story that we can learn from. You know what I mean? So I just thought that was really interesting. I didn't know if you guys had personal similar examples or things like that, or if you even feel that that's a part of like why people drift away over time. It's just interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's the big difference between like catechesis and like actually like living out the faith and like living in the world, right? Because when you grow up and you're kind of being taught things, like sure you get the education, you get the knowledge, but it doesn't really elicit faith within you. Like it doesn't always therefore cause a belief within you until you kind of grow and have life experience where maybe you have struggles or difficulties, or maybe you have an experience where that draws you closer to God and then kind of affirms all that you've learned. Like you need something concrete to kind of assist you in that kind of more tangible real life faith that is a part of this, the God of the living, the living God. Like
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So I feel like you were saying, how people drift away. They either drift away totally, where they don't do anything, don't practice anything, or they drift away where they go to a non-denominational church. I don't know if you ever been to one of those where it's kind of, I've been to a couple of them where it's kind of a lot more singing, and they read the gospel a little bit, and they, he does, I guess, a homily. I don't know what it is, but I've been to those, and me and Jess, like, we enjoyed it, and we called it we still go to church on Sunday, but we would still call it like that was our Bible study. Like you get a little more out of it. There is different avenues people go, and then there are people, like Josh was saying, like how you have to feel it, and just like that's what I think the Catholic faith is more, is like people feeling it. But as we talked about last week, a lot of people just go through the motions just because, like, oh, I did this as a kid, this is what I got to do. My kids need structure in life so they understand things, and I don't know if they're fully invested in what's happening. Like, I'm glad like you and Ronnie were able to take two different homilies and talk about it. There's probably people who would just listen to one and one. Yeah, they talked about this, and then that was it. What are we having for dinner?
Yeah,
and then just move on.
Yeah.
Like that's like the specialness. Like your guys are understanding it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
you're right, because I was just reaffirming too what you said, Josh. Like, until you like feel this like application of it, it's almost like it doesn't necessarily like feel like it resonates or it relates.
Yeah, and I feel like actually, I think we as Catholics, like we have things that are incredibly tangible within the sacraments, like the Eucharist and reconciliation, baptism, confirmation. All of the sacraments, right? It's like a tangible sign of what we believe. But I think oftentimes how we kind of learn about these things, like how it's taught to us, is it's so theoretical or theological that it's harder for us to kind of, especially as young people, to really identify with it or to connect with it or to jive with it. We kind of need things to be more down to earth in a sense, like the way that it's explained or kind of shown to us and presented. To better one's understanding of what this is and what it's all about. I think for me growing up, like as a Protestant Christian, like it was more about, how you're supposed to live your life. And that's kind of where I fell in love with the Lord, was through my experience of negativity and the struggles of the world and all this stuff, and like how I'm supposed to respond to things in like a moral kind of way. And I feel like if I was just like, oh, well, this is X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to teach you all these things, and you're going to kind of see it and all that, I may not have a understanding of what that may look like or feel like, or yeah. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But
No, exactly. Because
yeah.
Go ahead, Andrew.
No, I was just gonna say there's like so many interesting different religions that like still believe in God, but like we're all on different like levels. Like literally, I went to Walmart today. I think I told you about this last week too. I went to Walmart and there was there's Mormons in the by my house. In the Walmart parking lot. There's Mormons there, and they're going around trying to get everyone to come to their church. And like at first, like I talked to the girl. They call themselves sisters, and I talked to her a little bit, and I was talking to her. We were talking about Jesus, and I was just interested. But she didn't present herself as a Mormon. Like today, the guy came right at me and was telling me he's a Mormon and what I'm doing wrong. I was like, yeah, okay, get out of here. But I just don't. That turns people off, obviously. But yeah. I just I don't understand the Mormon faith. Like Lutheran is almost like us a little bit. They're
it's very similar.
Yeah, very similar. Yeah. I think the only difference is they just don't believe the Pope.
Yeah, they even believe in the Eucharist, I think, too, actually. Yeah, really? It's just the Pope and like the whole justification through faith. So instead of believing that we are saved through a combination of grace and then through our own actions. They believe that it's grace alone, and then they don't believe in the Pope. So.
Well, Grandma, if you're listening and we're wrong on that, you can write under the comment. My grandmother is Lutheran. You can write under the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know more about Lutheran.
Yeah, it's interesting because it seems like a lot of it is
Matt was a Lutheran before he converted.
That's right. It seems like a lot of the religions are just like they pick different parts of what they feel like is good and relates to them and stuff, and it kind of is created.
Yeah, what it's like is like Catholicism is everything, and then when people like don't like certain things,
yeah,
they kind of like lop it off, and they kind of like.
But
have
the one strong part that
Yeah.
I hope like us as a podcast, like we can entice people of how the love for God and Jesus, like that's one thing like we all have in common.
Yeah.
With these different religions, and I just that's the major thing with
and
all
I
of
think
it.
you know what? I think at the end of the day, the reason why there is like a bit of a split, or people kind of go each and every direction, or consider themselves none as far as like not affiliating at all, is because they're waiting for that like real tangible kind of like real life experience. And I thought that was interesting too, Andrew. Like I think that's a lot of the keys to kind of being able to communicate with people today. It's like when you lead with the fact that I'm a Catholic and you're doing everything wrong, like people are gonna be like, whoa, like what the heck, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but if like that girl that you talked to was the Mormon versus the guy who was Mormon, and she kind of created a conversation there. It's just this more, okay, I'm willing to listen to you type of idea, and I think that's
which
the
I'm
root of
fine.
it.
I'm fine with talking to other people, and like it's more about learning, and I'm very interested in that because then I'm thinking like, oh, I can learn from this, and I can bring it here and talk about it, and like. That guy had his Mormon Bible out and was like talking to people and reading things at people. And I was walking away and he's like reading something at me. I'm like, what is happening? But meanwhile, I was handing out in not Walmart. I went to Target, classier, and I handed out. I only handed out 10. I just wanted to see how it went. I made baggies with the mustard. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I saw the Snapchat. I didn't know that's where you went. You're trying to rival the Mormons at Walmart?
Only I went to Target. And I handed out 10 and 10 baggies with a QR code, a little note from me in it, and some stuff. And I think it worked. I saw that we got 9 new subscribers. So,
All right.
So I handed out 10. So.
Wow.
That's a pretty good batting average.
Yeah, so I mean, it was
That's a
good.
$360
Some
million
people talked
contract.
to me a little bit, and I just told them what it was about, and it was cool.
If you're listening, and if you're one of the people that Andrew encountered, leave us a comment and a like, and let us know that.
Yeah. I'd love to hear that
Yeah,
experience, right? Like how that was kind of perceived, and
I didn't want to be pushy. I didn't want to. I just wanted to like. I kind of wanted to like kind of get brave and go out there and just like try to like do something.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
that's cool, man.
Yeah,
Boldness, courage.
Yeah, right.
Love it.
let me tell you, I had to say a little prayer to like do it, like to push me. I was like, push me forward, because I always ask him to help the mustard seed grow, help it reach people, bring people to him. So I almost went back in my car like a couple times, but I finally had the courage, and
That's good. Yeah.
nice, man.
I may have discriminated and only handed it to people who I thought would understand what a QR code was, but
That's good though. That's fair.
I wasn't gonna give it to like someone.
Yeah,
else.
the 85-year-old. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, that's great. That's really cool, and
How about that?
that's awesome. I think that's again, it's just about like those are real life experiences, and how.
And even when your round table starts again, I want to go to a couple. You always keep telling me to go.
Yeah,
so
I'd love for you
I
to
think it'd be interesting just to get out and just throw yourself into it, and then it would bring more for us to talk about here. And one thing, being submissive to God is like such a major thing, especially in the holiday season. Don't overdo it with spending gifts and all that. Just do it with family time, and that's more important. That's more enriching to the soul, and just like make sure you are in it when you go to mass and you're paying attention, just like how Ryan and Ronnie, I can't say Veronica, it's weird to me. How Ronnie and Ryan, did that. I think that's so beautiful, like how you're able to go to two different. You know what? We should all go to 3 different masses on Christmas, and just I'll go to one. You
Well,
go.
we
to,
all
yeah.
will be, right? Well,
Sure.
no, I think we might end up at the same one.
Probably
Yeah.
will, yeah.
All
That's a great idea.
You two
We'll
got to
do
go to a different one, and
Do a
then
little book report.
and then when we're back, I'll
We'll
do a
talk
different
about
one.
it. Yeah. How about that?
That'd be cool.
So Ryan, just kind of going back to the nuns a little bit, just kind of a thought that I had was I feel like the majority of people who kind of fall, like they're typically like fallen away, especially fallen away Catholics. That's typically like the
Yeah, it seems
nuns,
like them.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I forget what the percentage is, but I think it's like 1 in 10 Americans are fallen away Catholics. I think.
I think it might even be more than that.
1 in 4, or
Something like that.
it's like
yeah.
it's like a bit like 25% or something. But yeah, so I think why, just to kind of reflect on that a little bit, is there's definitely the sense of the tangibility, how we kind of want something concrete and all that. But I think also like the nature of apathy, and this is something that we kind of talked a bunch about, and and how people kind of just live their lives and they become comfortable in their position, and maybe they don't have too many difficulties in their life, and maybe things are just okay. And I think as a result of that, when things are just kind of okay, you tend not to need God, or to
very good
think
point.
that you don't need God. And kind of the culture that we live in, it's like things are provided for you in a sense, and like almost everywhere you go, you can be given something. And yeah, so I would say apathy, but then also I feel like a majority of people have been hurt in some kind of capacity through the church or through friends or family who have done that kind of thing where it's like, I'm Catholic and you're wrong because of this, and you should feel bad about this, and whatever, which then causes them to resent and kind of drop
and
away.
even with saying with the hurt, even with everything that happened with all the scandals in the church, like that also drove a lot of people away. But one thing, like I realized, because like I was one of the, it didn't drive me away, but I was one of those people where I was like hurt by it, and like seeing all the things that happened and covering up, and it just like really frustrated me. And one thing, I think I've mentioned this before, my grandmother, who was a Lutheran, she, like, I talked to her about it, and she told me, like, just because a man did this doesn't mean you push away your faith. Your faith is beautiful, and that's what you have, and this is why you go to mass, and this is why you pray to God. It's not, don't punish God for something a man did. And it's run by men, and run by people, and it's
people are gonna make
gonna
mistakes.
fall.
And that's the thing, is like, when people leave, like, where are you gonna go? You know what I mean? Like, where are you gonna go? You can choose another denomination, you can choose another faith, but you're gonna encounter these problems and issues everywhere.
You can encounter it anywhere.
And that's just the nature of humanity and our
Yeah.
fallen nature. If you're looking for perfection, you're not going to find it. As soon as you join a church, like, because you are in it, it's going to be broken and imperfect.
And you should go to these ones like Joel Osteen, or like those type of ones, the big ones where everyone's praying, but then there's always something going on behind the scenes where they're embezzling money or something like that.
gosh.
So there's a bunch of things like that.
Yeah,
so
it's
like everywhere.
like we
always
said,
brokenness.
yeah,
the
there's-
nature of the world.
humans will do error, just like how we talked about last episode, where Adam was the first one to make the grave mistake. And with sin, we are born with sin. We are here to make errors, and just keep your faith and keep on
It's
praying. And
it's God's hand that He reaches out to us to heal that brokenness, right? And that's why we go. That's why we have our faith, to heal that brokenness. It is interesting. The apathy part is really, I definitely can see that, especially in today's world, because of what we have available to us. I feel like that kind of opened my eyes a little bit to like sometimes the challenges that I feel like I have with my faith, because I'm always like, why can't I take that next step or go a little further? And it's like, and I think that's where Exodus again comes into play. Just like when you free yourself from the different things that might be holding you down, you do start to open your eyes a little bit and realize, like, okay, wow, like there are some things that I might rely on that are probably taking the place of faith, and times when I can be doing faith. And then it's funny too, like when you think about media and entertainment, How many movies or shows have you seen where it was like the Catholic parents were the ones that were like suppressing their children and they're the bad parents, you know? So it's just like it's out there in front of you in so many different ways. So yeah, these numbers are alarming, but it doesn't surprise me too at the end of the day.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it's unique. But cool, and that's why we talk every week to hopefully kind of relate to someone or something. So good stuff.
Because you got to bring up that conversation. You got to shed positive light on things and realize that this stuff is important.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it, man.
You want to do our draft?
Yeah, let's do
We're
it.
gonna do Pixar. Ryan will start.
Pixar
I'll have
movies.
to probably look at your list just to
refresh the memory.
Oh wait, I'm last, so I get 2.
You got 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, number 1 for me, and I think this is this is the first one. Now I'm looking at the list. This is the first Pixar released movie ever, but Toy Story is my first pick.
Yeah, there you go.
All-time classic.
There you go.
Good pick.
All right.
Let me see.
Is The Incredibles Pixar?
It is.
The Incredibles.
That's a great one.
Love The Incredibles.
Yes. That was on my list too. Pixar, I think, are the best Disney movies, right? By far.
Very good, yeah. I think obviously the best animated, like
Definitely,
the 3D
right?
animation,
Yeah, Pixar's are great.
yeah. I have to look up these movies.
I know. It's
I'm gonna take. So is Toy Story all of them off the board or just
No,
that
no.
one?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
take
take-
Toy Story 3.
3
I
over
love
2.
3. And then I'm gonna take.
Wait, hold on. Refresh my mind. 3 is the one.
Is with the bear.
Yes, with the bear,
Yeah.
right?
Right, when
Okay.
Andy
And
goes to
Ken and
college.
Barbie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, I got one. So you have 2, right?
Yeah.
Andrew has 2, yeah.
I'm gonna take.
Don't hog the list.
I'll give it right back. I am going to.
I
take...
kind of have in my mind what I want, so.
Is Encanto one? No, right?
No, I don't think Encanto's Pixar.
No.
All right. I'm gonna
Encanto.
take.
Bruno.
Oh my gosh!
Right?
When that came out, I was working as a guitar teacher.
When Encanto came out?
Yeah, and this when I would drive to the studio and I would go there and in this one room, and the one directly right next to me was a music teacher, and every young girl wanted to sing that song.
Are you serious?
So I would sit there for like 4 or 5 hours in an evening, and I would just hear that song over and over again by like young girls who were singing it. And they were trying so hard, but majority of them it was like, stop. This is awful.
I can't take it
So
anymore.
I hate that song.
Josh started twitching.
I'm gonna take
Don't do it.
Coco.
Ah, good. Coco's a good one too.
Yeah.
There's so many great ones. Go
So,
ahead, Josh.
Mina?
Yep.
I'm gonna take Soul. Have you guys seen Soul?
I have. You liked it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah?
I think just the message of like, this guy felt like he wasn't doing anything with his life, and then he got this, ability to see his life, and like, I don't know, just the feeling of like second chances and trying to get out there and accomplish your dreams. And yeah, I'm big on that.
Nice.
So
I like that.
Yeah, I think Claire and I watched it twice together, and both times we were just like blubbering messes at the end. Like, we need to like change our lives. We need to live better. We gotta accomplish our dreams. Like,
Hey, that's it. Those are the best type of movies when you can feel like some sort of connection to it.
Right.
That's what it hits.
yeah.
All right, so I get 2, right? Okay, I'm gonna go with "Put That Thing Back Where It Came From" or "So Help Me." Monsters Inc.
Nice.
I love Monsters Inc. And then to round it out, I'm gonna go with Up. I think Up is great.
Yeah. That's
So good.
it's gonna be my pick.
There are so many good ones on this list, man. It's hard to pick.
Mm.
We're gonna have a lot of shout outs. Do you have your third one already, or you need this?
It's yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm next, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna say Toy Story 2.
Nice. We hit all the Toy Stories.
I love that movie. It's funny. Every time that the very first time that I watched Toy Story 2, I watched it at home growing up. We like rented it or something, and I remember I got like one of those soft pretzel, like microwavable soft pretzels that you get from the. And so every time I watch the movie, I'm like, I want a soft pretzel. Like, I like connected that experience with that movie. So like every time I'm like, I need a soft pretzel right now.
Does it work in the opposite direction? if we made a soft pretzel, are you gonna have to put on?
Not normally, no. Yeah, wherever I am, I have to watch like Miller's or something, and like, I have to put it on. Like,
Edge, what you got?
I'm taking Cars 3.
Oh,
Cars
3.
3.
Yeah, I love Cars 3.
I've never seen Cars
Probably
never
3.
because
seen 3.
Logan watches it a lot, but right now he's really into Toy Story. But Cars 3, there's this scene where like all the Lightning McQueen's going and all the cars are being replaced by faster, younger cars. So he's like, what happened to he's talking to the guy and he says, what happened to him? And he goes, name's Danny, bro. So Logan always says that. He just goes, his name's Danny, bro.
With his backwards hat on. Yeah. He's got the cool vibes going.
And from Toy Story 3, he always goes, thank you, big baby. He thinks that scene is hilarious because Lotso's like, the bitty baby does something for him. He goes, thank you, big baby. Logan dies and says that all the time.
I love that. There's nothing better than like picking up one-liners from these movies.
It's like so kiddie. It's like so funny too what kids will pick up on.
Yes.
Like you think that line's funny, like,
Exactly.
and then they'll say it over and over again, and it's like, wow, okay.
That's great. Honorable mention. I was gonna say Cars 1 as an honorable mention. I mean, that's
Finding Dory too.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo, yeah.
Yeah, Finding Nemo.
I don't think I've ever seen Finding Dory.
Finding Dory's good.
Yeah.
Finding Dory was good. Yeah, I did enjoy that one.
And Onward.
A Bug's Life.
Mm.
Inside Out. Inside Out was
Inside
really
Out's
good.
very good.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's hard to like pick from the list without. I've never seen Turning Red.
No, it's not
No. This
not
is a
for this
newer
show.
one.
not for this show.
Not for this show.
It's a little old and woke.
And
The-
Lightyear came out too. That again. Yeah.
I seen it and it just wasn't good.
No.
Like it just wasn't good.
I didn't like how they changed Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah,
Like
it
how
should have
he
been
looked.
Tim Allen.
Buzz Lightyear.
Well,
Yeah.
I can understand if like, okay, I like how you can change him, whatever. I can understand that, but why not just bring back Tim Allen's voice? They didn't bring him back because of the wokeness and because he's a Republican.
Because he's conservative.
Yeah.
You know,
So
for sure.
it's just like, because the whole premise is like the Toy Story, that's the toy. So like you don't really look like. So I can get behind that a little bit, but like.
Gotcha. That's why it's called Lightyear.
Yeah.
And not like.
It still like we already had a Buzz origin story. I don't remember we used to watch it in Grandma's basement all the time with
Dude,
Scooter, like the big red janitor and the robot.
Those are awesome
Yeah.
shows. Oh man.
It was
Buzz
or
Lightyear.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a cartoon
Yeah, it
version.
was
and,
cartoon.
and he was always fighting Zurg
Yeah.
and
And he had the girl was his partner.
yes.
I'm
That's
pretty sure
right.
Booster was,
That was the
the
best.
big guy's name. Yeah, but that was the best.
That was great.
Yeah.
I can think about like I feel like we watched so many good movies in your basement.
Yeah.
Max Keeble's Big Move.
Oh, remember the McDonald's movies?
Yes, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that next. Those are great too.
Yeah, I
There
wish
was,
I
like,
could
half
find
cartoon,
those. I
half-
wish I could watch that on DVD or something because I love that.
Yeah,
Those
those
were
are
really
great.
good.
Memories, man.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, check us out on all social medias. Keep buying Josh and Claire's CD.
Yeah. How's that been going? Now that
Good. We just broke even, which is
Wow.
fantastic.
That's
People have
awesome.
been very supportive, and yeah, it's really nice. So yeah, you can check it out at claireandjoshmusic.com. You can listen to it on all the streaming platforms. It's called For His Glory, and yeah.
Link below. Yeah, check them out. Now that they're even, help them go above.
yeah, man.
That'd be nice.
Full swing. We're in the Christmas season.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ho ho ho.
Yeah, we'll talk to you next episode. We're gonna do a Christmas episode, talk about the birth of Jesus and all that good stuff.
Yep. Cool.
All
Thanks for
right?
watching. Thanks for
Appreciate
listening.
you.
Peace.